corrupt power. That was KU. So ladies and gentlemen, I have painted for you a bleak picture about the nature and scale of corruption in South Africa. And the question is, so what do we do about this? And within the purview of my inaugural address, I would like to spend some time going through the recommendations. It is evident that corruption is a multifaceted reality in South Africa, and a multi-pronged approach is proposed to address the scourge. I suggest the following practical recommendations to advance our efforts in the fight against corruption. First and foremost, political will and tone at the top. Secondly, to restore a moral and ethical culture, it is recommended that compulsory ethics training is introduced at secondary phase of education. And this type of training should be reinforced at a tertiary level, since the concept of ethics is cross-cutting and can be found in interdisciplinary, transdisciplinary, and multidisciplinary curricula. It is hoped that ethics awareness, reasoning, and action will become a distinct feature of leadership competencies to meet formidable challenges. Ladies and gentlemen, when I came for my interview here in 2013, the dean then, Professor de Villiers, asked me, "Professor Pillay, where do you learn ethics from?" And I said, "Sir, you learn ethics from the home." And from the home, it is the responsibility of other civil society organizations and faith-based organizations to inculcate an ethical culture. And my recommendation today is that ethics training is imperative and should be introduced in the curriculum at secondary level of education. And these type of skills are harnessed when we come to the tertiary level of education. And then we come to a key focus of my inaugural address, and that is on trust. Trust plays a very tangible role in the effectiveness and efficiency of government and serves as a driving force for a country's economic development and stability. Hence, open government policies that concentrate on public participation and access to information can increase public trust. Moreover, public trust is an enabling factor to increase the confidence for foreign investment. There's also a dire need to strengthen the judicial system. And strengthening the judicial system in terms of resource allocation, functionality, accountability, efficiency, and effectiveness, and training to address the phenomenon not only legalistically but also holistically. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm not sure if you too are giving this type of advice to your children about whether it's better to go to the public sector or the private sector. It is also imperative that the best, talented, and right candidates at all echelons are suitable and appointable for their roles and responsibilities. Protection, security, and financial compensation should be provided to whistleblowers. By encouraging whistleblowing, we are promoting a transparent and open administration which complements the foundations of public administration. Increasingly, there is the element of corrupt practices in many public procurement processes which poses significant risks and are often manipulated for personal gain. In light thereof, there should be a comprehensive evaluation of existing internal and external rules, policies, and procedures, and access to information, particularly relating to the evaluation of bids, is critical to improve transparency. South Africa has well-developed anti-corruption legal framework. Unfortunately, implementation and enforcement thus far has somewhat been unsuccessful and ineffective. The focus should be also on the impact and the effectiveness of the law in serving as a deterrent. A complete database of convicted criminals, naming and shaming, should be activated and publicized in pamphlets, newspapers, and radio advertisements. And these actions should be intensified to expose wrongdoing and hold those criminals accountable for their actions. There should also be a rigorous reinforcement of the Code of Ethics and the Code of Conduct in both the public and the private sector. And the rationale for these codes is to promote exemplary behavior and conduct which leads to a healthier society and influences informed decision-making and right actions. I also focus on Chapter 9 institutions such as the Public Protector, the Human Rights Commission, the Auditor General's Office, the Electoral Commission. They should remain independent because they are the cornerstones to sustain democracy and enhance democratic principles such as accountability, the respect for the rule of law, and human rights. These institutions lay the foundation to realize good governance principles. Media and civil society organizations must continue and intensify their campaigns against corruption in all societal spheres. Anti-corruption agencies must not become more powerful, but they must become more functional. And there must be continuous communication, coordination, and cooperation in fulfilling their duties and avoiding duplication of resources. The above recommendations are a combination of short and medium-term goals that can be described as instrumental in enhancing an ethical culture, strengthening trust and confidence in government, giving renewed hope for direct and indirect foreign investment, local investment, and these conditions are instrumental in leading to new paths to job creation, poverty alleviation, and sustainable development as envisioned in the National Development Plan. I now come to my conclusion. Citizens expect ethical, honest, transparent, fair, and corrupt-free public administration that will lead to effective utilization of state resources towards economic and social development. Unethical, corrupt actions negatively affect citizens' trust, a sad reality in our country at this time. It is necessary for the public to participate to boost public trust and confidence on the state and its organs. Stellenbosch University, as a distinct and prominent institution of higher learning in South Africa, has a responsibility to play a key role in the fight against corruption. In this regard, ASIRIS, under the auspices of the School of Public Leadership, currently produces innovative research, path-breaking research, and capacity-building initiatives that serve as a pathway to promote a corruption-free society. Furthermore, our partnership with the South African Institute of Chartered Accountants strengthens our position and bring a paradigm shift in how we address corruption collectively. Ladies and gentlemen, you can stop corruption. And combating corruption is everybody's business. I thank you.